Hi, this is Zak Mir with the US Chartbreakers here at Zak's Traders Cafe for Tuesday, the 20th of May. Starting off with the S&P, which is obviously stalling somewhat ahead of the 6,000 level, which is obviously a big psychological level. Above that, we're looking for the resistance line projection there from June last year, as heading as high as 63.30, and looking for that by the end of next month. And we're looking for that while we remain above recent resistance 57.80. Moving along to the Nasdaq, and obviously a similar picture, maybe not that obviously, but here a decent recovery for this market, trying to get back the initial sell-off. Here the level around 21,500 to beat. Above that we're looking for new highs, 22,800, once again by the end of next month, or perhaps even sooner than that. Upside valid, at least while we're above the latest gap there around 29,900. I suppose we've got to allow down to 20,300 in that broken February resistance line that we have. Moving on to the stocks, and moving along to the big rises here. We've had Armata hitting that top of that falling trend channel there at $2.70. Above that on an end of day close basis, I suppose we are looking for a proper recovery up towards the $4 mark by the end of next month, while we stay above recent broken resistance around $2.30. A return to the following stock, which is Arena, and here you can see that we had an initial target there, $3.30, then we went to $4.60 basically, and then highest target $6 even, but we found support there at the end of last week at the $6 mark, and we've got a final near-term target that is $11.20. Hopefully over the next few sessions, maybe by the end of this week. Upside value while we're above $8, and any dip towards that old resistance probably regarded as a buying opportunity in the first instance. Next up is ADC, and here we've got a rising trend channel base. The big resistance there around $3.60. We're looking for that, especially while we're above the resistance on the way down around $2.20. Ideally, we stay above that on an end of day close basis, although obviously we probably have to allow for a move back down to March resistance at the $1.90 level. But at least while we're above $1.90 and with a rising 50-day line, looking for $3.60 by the end of next month. On to Airship, and here the situation is that we've got a market trying to beat that resistance line there from the end of December. That is running at today's resistance, so the latest resistance of $5.60, and we need an end of day close above that to give us $8 perhaps by the end of next month, but looking decent, especially while we're above the old March resistance around $5.20. Next up is a stock which is also on the front foot at the moment, Arqit, and here rising trend channel. We've got a mid-channel line there at $36, and looking for that by the end of next month, while we're above a recent resistance on the way down around the $20 mark. Probably have to allow down to $20 given the spike that we've had in the last 24 hours. A new name next, which is Fractyl Health, and here broadening triangle base, top of the triangle there, heading for $3.37, which is basically post-August resistance for the shares. Looking for that by the end of next month, especially while we remain above the $1.80 level, maybe allow down to the 50-day line at $1.33, but ideally we stay above $1.80, because obviously the risk reward there not so attractive. Moving on to it's an old favourite, but it's a stock we have covered here before, and here Ohmyhome, looking for another a spare trap rebound from below $1.80, and above that looking for obviously the 50-day line at $2.42. We can get an end of day close above that. Hopefully we'll be back up to the post September resistance for the shares towards $5 by the end of next month, but the key here is recovering that 50-day line as quickly as possible. Next up on the list is Siyata, and here even though probably one at first glance wouldn't be looking at this stock, but if you look closely you can see that we've already had a look at it, in the sense that there was a broadening triangle base, the top of the triangle there, and the target around $4.50. Above that we're looking for a fresh leg to the upside as high as $8.60 by the end of next month, giving it rather a lot of time there, but basically $8.60 plus is the post December resistance for this stock, only back below the previous target there, $4.67, really delaying the upside scenario. Moving along to our other new name, Tango Therapeutics, and here it's rising trend channel base there, probably more along the lines of the drugs, adjusting the line there, but towards the $4 area, $4.40 in fact, and looking for that by the end of next month, while we remain above the resistance on the way down around the $2.30 level, probably the proviso there in terms of a potential move to the upside. On to the last two. The first one is TMC, and here we have reached for the stars. The first target there was that line of resistance through $4, around the $4.20 level, and above that we're looking for a fresh leg, the upper parallel of that line, which is currently heading as high as $5.20, hopefully over the next couple of weeks. Finishing off with another winner, and here it's ZK, and here V-shaped bull flag, so quite encouraged about this, looking for the top of that falling trend channel, right just shy of $5 by the end of next month, while we remain above the latest swing low there at $2.80. But it's a bear trap island reversal, which is one of our favorite setups, largely because they tend to work. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.